Okay students, good morning all of you. So yesterday we discussed about chemical equilibrium and types of chemical equilibrium. In that chemical equilibrium classified as molecular equilibrium, another one is ionic equilibrium. So here we have two types in chemical equilibrium. One is molecular equilibrium, another one is ionic equilibrium. So what is meant by equilibrium? So where the rate of forward reaction is equals to rate of backward reaction in a reversible reaction is called as chemical equilibrium. So here what is meant by molecular equilibrium here? Equilibrium exists between molecules. Equilibrium exists in between molecules. For example, PCl5 is reversible PCl3 plus Cl2. PCl5 is reversible to PCl3 plus Cl2. So here PCl5 is molecule, you know what it is? Molecule. Here PCl3 is also molecule. So what about chlorine? It is also molecule. So equilibrium exists in between molecules. Here reactant is molecule and also product is also molecules. Understood now? So the equilibrium exists in between molecules is called as molecular equilibrium. Okay. One more example. So here it is molecule, here it is also molecule, it is also molecule. So it is also example for molecular equilibrium, formation of ammonia through Haber process. So what about ionic equilibrium? Ionic equilibrium means equilibrium exists between molecule and ions. Equilibrium exists between molecule and ions. Such an equilibrium is called as ionic equilibrium. Let's see the example. CH3COOH, acetic acid is reversible CH3COO minus H plus. Here acetic acid undergoes ionization as acetate ion and H plus. What is the charge on acetate ion here? Minus. Here it is plus 1. Where plus and minus exists, then it is called as ionic form, you know. So here acetic acid means it is a molecule clearly. What about this one? Acetate ion H plus ion. So here equilibrium exists in between molecules and ions. Such kind of equilibrium is called as ionic equilibrium. So chemical equilibrium again classified as molecular equilibrium and ionic equilibrium. So what is meant by molecular equilibrium here? So equilibrium exists in between molecules only. Example, Haber process. Come to here, ionic equilibrium. Here equilibrium exists in between molecule and ion. Such type of equilibrium is called as ionic equilibrium. Is it clear? The next topic is characteristics of chemical equilibrium. Here at equilibrium both reactants and products are present. If any reaction at equilibrium, at that equilibrium condition, we observe both reactants and both product. For example, now this reaction is at chemically equilibrium. Suppose these two are called as reactant and this one is called as here product, suppose. So this is the forward reaction, this is the backward reaction. So here rate of forward reaction and rate of reversible are backward. Here rate of forward reaction is equals to rate of backward reaction. We know very well. Here this point means there is no complete end of reactants or products in the chemical equilibrium. That means when the concentration of reactants decreases, that means concentration of product is increases, or concentration of product is high, then it's try to convert it as reactant again. That means there is no complete end of reactants or products in the chemical equilibrium. That means there is no complete reaction. Simply neither rate of forward reaction nor rate of backward reaction has ceased. That means not stopped. So the reaction continuously takes place as reactants to products and products to reactants. At a particular time, the reaction is exactly at equilibrium. That means rate of forward reaction equals rate of backward reaction. Okay, and we have very important point here. the concentration of reactants and products. At equilibrium, concentration of reactants and products are constant. That means there is no change. They converted to product and again product converted to reactants. So now these concentrations are called as equilibrium concentrations. What is meant by equilibrium concentrations? The concentrations of reactants and products at equilibrium is called as equilibrium concentrations. And the next one is dynamic equilibrium. So what is meant by dynamic equilibrium here? So now this is reactants is reversible to product. This equilibrium is called as dynamic equilibrium. So the equilibrium exists in between reactant and product is called as dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic equilibrium means here no end of reactants and products. That means reactants converted to product converted to reactants. Okay. Now this equilibrium is called as dynamic equilibrium. Remember this, the equilibrium exists in between reactants and products at chemically equilibrium is called as dynamic equilibrium. That means reactants converted to products, product converted to reactants. There is no end of the reaction. The reaction takes place continuously towards forward and backward. Remember this. Now, at what condition we observe the equilibrium? So, is it closed vessel or open vessel? Suppose it is a vessel, closed vessel. Here the vessel is closed. Now suppose now this one is called as liquid. This one is called liquid. So when we heated this vessel, this is symbol for delta, heating. So what happened when liquid undergoes heating? It's try to evaporate or not? It's try to evaporate. This is vapor. So now the vessel is closed, there is no chance to escape the vapor from the surface of the liquid, There is no chance to evaporate this vapor from the surface of liquid. Am I right? So this vapor again converted to liquid. Here what happened? Vapor undergoes evaporation and try to come back. Is it reversible or not? Reversible. Why? Because it is reversible due to the closed vessel. So where we observed reversible condition or equilibrium condition in the case of closed vessel only. In the case of closed vessel. That means here liquid undergoes vaporization and vapor converted to liquid. Reversible is takes place. Why it is takes place? Due to the closed vessel. So see here, in a closed vessel I will take H2 plus N2. So what it gives? NH3, the forward direction. That means ammonia gas is formed in this condition. Now the vessel is closed. There is no chance to escape this ammonia, you know. So here it is in the vapor form now. Again, this vapor converted to H2 and N2, you know. That means equilibrium exists or not. So when it is possible? When we take the reaction in a closed vessel, Suppose if you take the same reaction in a open vessel, now H2 plus N2 gives rise to NH3. Is there any possible to convert again H2 and N2 here? No, because these ammonia try to escape. That means there is no reversible. That means no equilibrium in open vessel. Understood, Amma? So where we observed equilibrium, in closed vessel or open vessel? In open or closed? Closed vessel only. So that means where we observe dynamic equilibrium, in open or closed? So in closed vessel only we observe dynamic equilibrium. So what kind of equilibrium this is? This is called dynamic equilibrium. That means there is no complete conversion of reactants to products. Okay. So this is one of the important characteristics of chemical equilibrium. And the next property is effect of catalyst at equilibrium. Effect of catalyst at equilibrium reaction. Catalyst cannot affect the position of equilibrium. So what is the importance of catalyst? Here we need to add in the reaction. For example, we consider Haber process. What is meant by Haber process? Formation of ammonia. H2 plus N2 is reversible NH3. So in this reaction we just add iron, where this iron acts as catalyst. Catalyst is a substance which is added to the reaction, the purpose of to increase the rate of reaction only. It doesn't interact with either reactants or products. So what is the main aim to add this catalyst here? It just increase the rate of the reaction. It doesn't affect the position of the equilibrium. So what is meant by position of equilibrium here? Position means either it is forward or backward. Suppose the concentration of the reactants is very high, then this equilibrium position shift towards forward direction. Remember, if the concentration of the reactants are very high, it's try to shift towards forward direction. Or if the concentration of product is high, what happened? This chemical equilibrium try to shift towards reactant state. That means the position of the equilibrium. So here my point is, so what is the effect of catalyst at chemical equilibrium? This catalyst is a substance which is useful to increase the rate of the reaction. Increase the rate of the reaction only. So the first point here, catalyst cannot affect the equilibrium position. Cannot affect the equilibrium position, very very important. So now what will it do? So the work of this catalyst here, it increase the rate of forward and also rate of backward. So the main aim of adding of catalyst in this reaction, it increase the rate of reaction, of forward reaction and also rate of backward reaction. So rate means here it just speed up the reaction, okay. For example here, the concentration of H2 and N2 10 moles. How many moles? Suppose 10 moles. The concentration of H2 and N2 in presence of catalyst. So in the presence of catalyst, the concentration of H2 and N2 suppose 10 mole. And concentration of H2 and N2 is equal to 10 mole without catalyst also. Without catalyst. In the presence of catalyst, the concentration of the reactants is 10 mole. In the absence of catalyst also, the concentration of H2 and N2 is also 10 mole. Is there any change in the concentration? No. That's why catalyst cannot affect the equilibrium position. So why it is called like that? If suppose concentration of the reactant is high, this equilibrium shift towards to product side. Suppose if product concentration is high, then the equilibrium position shifts towards to reactant side. So that means if concentrations are changes either in reactants or products, the equilibrium moves towards forward or backward. So here when we add the catalyst, there is no change in the reactants concentration. That means it doesn't affect any on the concentration of reactants or products. That means there is no effect of catalyst on equilibrium positions. So here what will it do? So it increases the just rate of reaction. That means suppose the reaction takes 10 minutes to complete in presence of catalyst. So in the presence of catalyst, how much time it takes to complete? 10 minutes suppose. In the presence of catalyst, the reaction takes 10 minutes to be completed. So in the absence of catalyst, the time is now 15 minutes for the same reaction. In the first case, rate of reaction is high in the presence of catalyst. That means the reaction complete within minutes. In the second case, in the absence of catalyst, it takes more time to be complete. That means the main aim of catalyst to add in the chemical reaction is it just speed up the reaction only. Okay. It doesn't affect on chemical equilibrium position. And the next point is about temperature. Temperature at chemical equilibrium. So in the chemical equilibrium, if you can change pressure, volume, concentrations, pressure, volume and concentration, there may be changes that takes place in equilibrium position, maybe. But if you can change the temperature, at equilibrium, that means increases or decreases, the equilibrium position maybe 100% undergoes changes. If temperature changes, what happen? Equilibrium position also changes. So very important point. Here temperature changes. Temperature is the one of the factor to decide the equilibrium position also here. So to increase the temperature or decrease the temperature, the equilibrium position may be changed. That means it is moves towards forward or backward. Okay. So remember these all important points regarding to characteristics properties of chemical equilibrium. So what kind of equilibrium you observed in chemical equilibrium? That is dynamic equilibrium. The next important concept, law of mass action. Or mass action law. Law of mass action or mass action law. So what is meant by law of mass action? So it is the quantitative equilibrium expression quantity. So law of mass action is quantitative expression. Let us consider a equation. Let consider a equation. A moles of reactant A plus B moles of reactant B. It gives rise to products. Some products. Now these are the reactants. Suppose consider reaction. So what we call it is, here we have two types of reactants. So one is A, another one is B. What about these A and B? Here A is stoichiometric coefficient. What we call it is? A means stoichiometric coefficient. So A is called stoichiometric coefficient of A, where B is called stoichiometric coefficient of B. So where A means number of moles of A is equals small a, number of moles of capital B is equals to B, and also called as stoichiometric coefficient of A is called A, stoichiometric coefficient of B is called B. Okay. Now this is the reaction. So now rate of reaction or speed of reaction, rate of reaction is always directly proportional to molar concentration of A. What is the quotient of capital A here? Small a. Write it as power here and into molar concentration of B. What is the quotient of B here? Small b. Write as power of B. Understood now this expression? Rate of reaction is directly proportional to molar concentration of reactants. This square bracket means concentration. It is called as molar concentration. Molar concentration. This representation in the square bracket means molar concentration or active mass. Active mass. Very, very important point this one. Active mass. Molar concentration or actively mass. Active mass. Remember it. This expression. The expression which is in the square bracket is called as active mass. Here it is active mass of A. It is active mass of B. So here what are A and B? Reactants, you know. That means rate of reaction or speed of reaction is always directly proportional to concentration, molar concentration of reactants. Molar concentration of reactants. So finally, rate of reaction is directly proportional to molar concentration of reactants and their stoichiometric coefficients as power. SC means stoichiometric coefficients. What are they? Suppose here A, B. So rate of reaction directly proportional to concentration of reactants and their stoichiometric coefficients as powers. So now from this equation, rate is directly proportional to molar concentration of A and its power is A. That means stoichiometric coefficient of A is small a into molar concentration of B and its stoichiometric coefficient is B. Okay now? So now I would like to remove this proportionality. We should keep equal. Rate is equals and add one constant that is taken as K. Molar concentration or active mass power A power B. So rate of reaction is equals to K into molar concentration of A and power A and B and power B, where K is called proportional constant. Proportional constant, and it is called here rate constant. Rate constant is equals to how much? K, where K is called rate constant of a chemical reaction or proportionality constant K. It is called as rate constant K. Okay na? So now this means molar concentration of A or active mass of reactants A and B. Okay. For example, this is the chemical equilibrium equation. H2 plus N2 is reversible, NH3. This is gas and this one is gas, this one is gas. So now write law of mass action concept for this reaction. These are the reactants. Now rate of forward reaction, suppose rate of forward reaction. Rate of forward reaction is directly proportional to molar concentration of H2. What is the quotient? 3 as right power into molar concentration of N2. What is the quotient here? 1 right as power. So now this is the reactants, So rate of reaction is directly proportional to molar concentration of reactants. Molar concentration of reactants. So now from this one, Rf is equals to rate of forward or speed of forward reaction. Keep some constant K, H2 power 3, N2 whole power 1. Okay, so where K is called as rate constant. Rate constant. So this is called as law of mass action or mass action law. Okay. So now what is meant by active mass? Very, very important. So in this reaction, what is the active mass of H2 means? How can we represent? Like this. This is active mass of H2. This means active mass of N2. Both are reactants here. So also called as molar concentration of H2, molar concentration of N2, or active mass of H2, active mass of N2. So what is meant by active mass? Active mass means in the chemical reaction, the actual mass of reactants undergoes reaction is called as active mass. Suppose 100% it has mass. During the chemical reaction, how much quantity of mass is consumed in the reaction? That is called active mass of H2. Suppose it has 100 grams of mass. In that, suppose it consumed in the reaction 50 grams only. Now active mass is 50 grams. Active mass means the mass of reactants. Active mass means the mass of reactants which actually participating in chemical reaction. The mass of reactants actually participating in a chemical reaction is called as active mass. Okay. For example, this is a beaker. So it consists some quantity of water. So now it has surface of water, surface of water. At surface, water molecules are there? Yes. Now, this is source of heat energy. Suppose sun. It is the source of heat energy. Now this water absorb the heat energy. Then what happened? This water try to escape or not? Try to escape. From where the water is escape? Only on the surface or inside? Only on the surface of water is only escape by absorbing the heat energy, not inside water. Actually, this is entire water. Lot of water is inside the beaker, but only the water which is present on the surface only try to escape. Okay. Now this surface water only called as active mass. This amount of surface water is only called as active mass, not inside water. Understood now? Suppose this is entirely taken as reactant. Now which one react? Only the reactant which is present on the surface, that quantity only undergoes reaction. Simply what is active mass? The mass of reactants actually participate in chemical reaction. Suppose it is 100 mass. So in that only 10 grams of mass is only participate in the chemical reaction. Now active mass is 10 only. Understood now? So active mass that originally consumed in the reaction or actually consumed in the reaction is called as active mass. For example, in a glass of water, when it is allowed to sun, only the surface water is try to escape. That surface water is only called as active mass of this water, not inside water. Okay? So remember this. So mathematical expression of mass action law. What is law of mass action? Rate of chemical reaction is directly proportional to concentration of reactants. Concentration of reactants, not products, reactants only. So, mathematical expression of mass of action law or law of mass action, it is applicable for only reversible reaction. Remember this. Reversible reaction. That means equilibrium reactions. Here. So let us consider a reaction plus B moles of B, these two are reactants. Okay. Now it is reversible. D moles of capital D, these are the products. Reactants, and this one is called as products. The reaction at chemical equilibrium now. Now we have two reactions here. One is rate of forward reaction, another one is backward reaction. In the case of forward reaction, so what is forward reaction? A moles of A, B moles of B, gives rise to C moles of C, D moles of capital D as product. Now, according to law of mass action, so rate of forward reaction is equals to molar concentration of A power A, stoichiometric quotient of A is, and molar concentration of B, what is the quotient? B, and keep constant K. Suppose taken as equation number 1. So what about rate of backward? Rate of backward or reverse K. Here I am writing. In the case of backward reaction, that is reverse reaction, what is the equation? C moles of C plus D moles of D is reversible. Suppose now in the case of backward, these are the reactants, this one is product. Remember it, in the backward direction these are the reactants and this one is called as product. So what are the product now in the reversible reaction? So in the backward reaction these are called as reactants, and this one is called as product. Okay, so for this reaction, the law of mass action is rate of backward is equals to molar concentration of C and its coefficient is C into molar concentration of D and its coefficient is small d, and keep the constant K where it is Kb, where it is Kf. That means what is meant by K? Rate constant, we call it is. Kf means rate constant for forward reaction. Kf means rate constant for forward reaction. What about Kb? Rate constant for reverse reaction or backward reaction, where K is called as rate constant. In this case, K is called as rate constant for forward reaction. Here it is rate constant for backward reaction. Suppose this is taken as equation number 2. You know very well, at equilibrium condition, what happened? Rate of forward reaction equals to rate of backward. You know very well. Already we discussed about so many times. So from this concept, from equation 1 and 2, we have 1 is equals to 2. Am I right? So what is here equation 1? Rate of forward reaction equals rate of backward. That is from equation 1, Rf equals to how much? Kf into and B power B, that is equals to what is Rb? Rate of backward, that is equals to Kb C power C and D power D. So why it is called rate of forward reaction equals rate of backward reaction. So from equation 1 and 2, we will able to take like this. Okay. So from this one, Kf by Kb is equals to by molar concentration of A power A, molar concentration of B power B. Understood now up to? So now this Kf by Kb is taken as Kc, where Kc means rate constant for complete reaction. That means rate of forward and rate of backward. Here we have two reactions in this concept. One is forward, another one is backward. So now this is rate constant for forward reaction. This is rate constant for backward reaction. Now this is equals to Kc, where Kc means equilibrium constant, also we call it is equilibrium constant Kc. So and it is also rate constant for overall reaction or for complete reaction. Remember this one. So this is the expression regarding to law of mass action for reversible reactions. So if you observe clearly, finally Kc is equals to molar concentration of C power C, molar concentration of D power D by molar concentration of A power A, molar concentration of B power B. So what is the equation generally we take? A is reversible. This is the equation. So now this one is called as reactant and this one is called as product. Okay. So now C and D, concentration of products, so simply we can write like this: Kc is equals concentration of products by concentration of reactants. So what are A and B here? Reactants. So now in the numerator I just taken as concentration of products entirely. Now this one is concentration of reactants. So what about the powers here? So these powers are called as stoichiometric coefficients of products. P means products here simply. Now this one A and B is called as stoichiometric coefficients of reactants. So you just remember this one on it. So Kc is equals, that means equilibrium constant Kc is equals molar concentration of the products by molar concentration of the reactants, and write their coefficients as powers. Write their coefficients as powers. Understood them up to? So this expression is called as law of mass action for the reversible reaction or equilibrium reaction. Remember. So law of mass action we can able to apply for reversible reactions. Remember this, not for irreversible reaction. Okay, understood or not? So is it clear? Very good. Molar concentration or active mass, both are same. Remember this. So which is kept in square bracket, remember this. For example, here I am going to write some important equations. One is H2 plus N2 is reversible NH3. Okay. So this is equilibrium. So here equilibrium constant is Kc. So now what is the expression of equilibrium constant for this reaction? So Kc is equals, first write molar concentration of product. So what is the product? Ammonia, NH3. So write molar concentration of product NH3 or active mass of ammonia. What is the coefficient here? 2. Write as power 2. By, is there any another product? No, only single. If you have any another product, write in the multiply in the square bracket. Okay. So now come to reactants. Product is over. Now come to reactant. Molar concentration of H2. What is the coefficient of H2? 3. Write as power into another reactant here we have, that is N2. So write in the square bracket, that is molar concentration of N2. So what is the coefficient here? 1. Understood now clearly? This expression is called as equilibrium constant Kc for the given equilibrium reaction. Understood now? Next, PCl5 is reversible PCl3 plus Cl2. So what is the equilibrium constant expression for this equilibrium? Kc is equals to, what are the products? PCl3 and also Cl2. So first write this one. Molar concentration of PCl3, what is the coefficient? 1. And molar concentration of Cl2, coefficient is 1 by, come to the reactants. Molar concentration of PCl5, this is the reactants and product. First write product concentrations, then by reactants concentration. Okay. So what is the coefficient? 1. This is the expression, equilibrium constant expression for the given reaction. Understood, Nama? Now, in the case of active mass or molar concentration, active mass for different phases. So we have generally gases, liquids and solids. So what about active mass in the case of gaseous reactants or gaseous reaction, or in the case of liquid reaction, that means viscous state of components are liquid in state. Suppose viscous state of components, that means reactants products, are in solid state. In this case, what is the value of active mass? Is it considerable or not? Very, very important. In the case of gaseous reaction, for example, H2 plus N2 is reversible NH3. This is gas, and this one is also gas. It is at equilibrium, and the physical state of reactants is purely in gaseous state. Here product is also in gaseous state. Okay. Now in this case, equilibrium constant expression is taken as Kc, that is molar concentration of NH3 power 2 by molar concentration of H2 power 3 and N2 whole power 1, where the square bracket represents active mass. This one is also active mass. This one is also called as active mass. That means these are having some particular values. Suppose active mass 3, active mass 2, active mass 1, suppose. So when we substituted that value in this equation, we get value of Kc. Okay. So remember this. For the gaseous condition, for the gaseous reaction, we consider active masses as usual. Okay. So now concentration, active mass means concentration of gas we consider. That is, suppose here, what is the active mass of NH3? Molar concentration of NH3. Molar concentration of NH3 is the active mass. For gases, we consider the active masses like that. Suppose this value 3 for ammonia. So what is the active mass? 3. Suppose H2, it is 2. Active mass of H2 is suppose 2. So for gases, active mass is taken as their concentration directly. Okay. So what about liquids? So come to first third one, solid. Very, very important. For solids or pure solids also we call it is pure solids, active mass is taken as constant. Active mass is constant, that is taken as 1. That means unity. Remember this. Very, very important. Active mass of solids is taken as 1. For the solids, in the case of solids, if any one of the reactants is solid, then its active mass is taken as unity. That means 1. Okay. So remember this. For liquids, in the case of liquids, so when liquids interact with liquids, its active mass taken as liquid concentration. In the case of liquid and liquid, active mass of liquid is taken as concentration of liquid. But when liquid interact with gas, its active mass is taken as unity. 1, remember this. Unity. Okay now? So active mass means during the chemical reaction, how much mass is originally consumed in the reaction, that is called as active masses. Okay, how much mass is originally or actually participate in the chemical reaction is called as active mass. Okay, remember that. So tell me, so what about solids? Active mass of solid is unity, very very important. That means molar concentration of solids is taken as 1. So what about liquids? Here we have two cases. One is when liquid interact with liquid. In this case, active mass is molar concentration of liquid directly we taken. So when liquid interact with gas, in this case molar concentration is taken as unity 1. That is 1. Okay. So come to gas. That means gas interact with gas. In this case, active mass is taken as its concentration. Concentration of gas is the active mass. So in the case of gas, we also taken active mass pressure of the gas. Pressure of the gas also. In the case of gaseous reaction, active mass is taken as concentration of the gas or pressure of the gas also. Gas is having pressure or not? Yes. So you know very well about ideal gas equation, that is PV is equals to nRT. Am I right? PV is equals to nRT. So from this one, what is P? That means P means pressure of the gas here. N by V into R into T. N by V means C into RT, where C means molar concentration. Molar concentration. C means molar concentration. So C is equals to N by V means where C is concentration. The definition of concentration is number of moles per unit volume. Suppose keep value of V is equals to 1 here. What happened? C is equals to N. Number of moles becomes concentration of the reactant or product. Okay. So where C is concentration. So from this one, what is the relation? P is directly proportional C or not? P is directly proportional C or not? Directly proportional. That means instead of C, we can also write pressure of the gas also. Where this is the concentration of the gas or pressure of the gas. Both are same. Okay. So okay students, we will meet again in the next class with a new topic. Such